Hello and welcome back to the quarterfinals. We had a 5-round event and cut to top 8. I decided to show Sky here on Stoneblade versus Jae Yong on Twin because they aren't the top seeds or anything, but the lists seemed really interesting to me. I saw this guy with a Twin in his hand sitting across from me earlier in the day, and I wanted to see how this would go. I think that both players are mulling to 6, and the higher seed will go first. But I haven't watched this video. I don't know. I don't know who it was. It's not really clear from the video footage, so I'm just going to let it run. From the Stoneblade side of things, I think that this is a pretty normal bluish combo matchup where Jace is your main win con, and you'll just try to counter whatever it is that he's doing. I think that there's a lot of concern for a couple of key cards here from the combo side of it. Obviously, the Splinter Twin combo is jammed into this Legacy deck, but it's likely just a blue-red like tempo shell. And I think that you should fetch carefully, don't get Blood Mooned out, and always play around Spell Pierces and Dazes and Forces. So, Steam Vents Go is not commonly seen, but this is Legacy and you can play whatever it is you want. Steam Vents Go into Wasteland Go is, I don't know. The Stoneblade deck plays more like a control deck, but I mean, if somebody's going to lead on just a tapped land and not do anything, then I'm okay with the turn 2 waste you. So both players are set back a turn. And we're not going to have to worry about any stifles here. From the start, if he... Okay, so this could either mean that there are no more steam vents in the deck, and there are no volcanics. Because if he needed red mana, he may have needed a non-blue-black fetch. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here. And since Sky allowed this Chalice to resolve, I am reasonably sure that he does not have an out to this game 1, and that there's no way to get the Chalice off the table. So we're just going to have to play around it, and I'm unsure how many 1-drops are left in his hand right now that are locked out. So Jae Yong will draw a card and bottom a 3 with it. To be honest, I actually don't know what counter-attack is. So far, this is looking much closer to a modern deck than anything. And I think Sky is going to double crack fetches on Jae Yong's upkeep, and if he's going for 3 mana here, I believe he's going to click him. Both players with a pretty full grip here. This might actually just be more of a value click than anything. There's no creature on the board. I don't think he's worried about getting comboed out. And I do believe that he knows what he's up against here. But he needs to get a threat on board also. So is click good? I don't know. Personally, if you ask me, I'd say click is good. It's not relevant to whether it's getting forced or not. This guy lets that go without complaint. And draw step is over, so we'll proceed to Jae Yong's main phase. Still without access to red mana. There we go. Alright. Depending on what this polluted delta fetches, I'm still feeling like in the beginning of the game there was a big hint towards Jae Yong having no access to red mana with a Steam Vents in the graveyard, and never mind. Everything that I've said is irrelevant. He chose specifically not to grab a red source with that second fetch in the game. Oh dear. So Sky is getting rapidly cut off from casting anything else in the game. Maybe any 3-drops that he has, like another Click, and of course Jace are going to be his route to victory here now. I also wouldn't count out a very slow game where he eventually casts a hard cast a Batterskull. So conveniently, Sky did have a second copy of Click. Maybe that's why he didn't fight over the first one. And Jae Yong, knowing that he would lose part of his combo here, is just going to cast the one that he can and let the Splinter Twin go to the bottom. Sky is in a lot of trouble here now also because most of his removal in the deck is going to be 1. Okay, so that's very convenient for Sky here. I think he looks to be in a really good position here. But if that resolves, then he actually has to get Vendilion Click into the red zone 4 more times, and that's all he has to. That's all he has going for him, because the Blood Moon, while he has a lot of basics, he did not intentionally fetch for any in the beginning of the game, and I don't think that he can cast anything anymore. I think his hand is almost completely dead. Oh, but Jae Yong's in a lot of trouble. Okay, Jae Yong is in no trouble at all if there's no force here. Okay. And he may very well scratch himself back in here because he's got Island on board, and the Jace is not going to get killed. I think Sky's failure to respect a main deck Blood Moon is going to lose in game 1. So blue-white just does not have a way of dealing with a Chalice that's already resolved. And all of his ways to get rid of Jace are going to cost double white. And if I was in Sky's shoes here, I don't think I would let my opponent continue to look at the top of my deck. I think I would actually prefer to, yeah. I don't mind him taking a draw step there, but, and I don't think that he's playing so many secret cards that he wouldn't want anyone to see. But I'm okay with actually conceding to the Jace Plus. And I cut the video here because I got tired of watching the show. So we're back here for game 2 with Sky on the play. And from the look of his hand here, he has had to keep in all of the forces in respect to the combo, and hate pieces like Chalices. If he doesn't have a Wear Tear or something, or his hand is too 1 heavy, then he may have to turn to like fight over a Chalice. Oh, and he might be passing the turn here with no land drop. Well, this is gross. So you need to. I thought that Sky was going to play a second land on the second turn and have counterspell up this turn with force backup, but with 1 land, he's now forced to either get basic or just get a Tundra in order to keep other things open, which I completely agree with. He's in a bad spot, but there's already one Blood Moon on the stack. There's already one Blood Moon on the stack, and he has to discount the idea of another one hitting the stack next turn, even if he counters this. So, I mean, if he has something nice like... Okay. Well, that is fine. It's even better than forcing it. And now he's still in this game, because now he'll find a second land. Unless this is a really fast shuffle, then this 3 has a land in it. That is scary. If he passes this turn without a second land drop again, then he is starting to look supremely vulnerable to a second Blood Moon or a Chalice. And now I don't know. It looks like he's being punished really badly for a one-land keep. And the dreaded upside-down Chalice comes, which we have a force for. There's no blue mana on the table, so he's safe. And there's... Oh, if that's a Shame Delta, and he still has, like... If he has a Pierce in hand or something, I swear I would never play that Pierce. I would, you know... I would take that to my grave, probably, that I hadn't played the blue to Delta before trying to cast the Chalice. So Jae Yong is fetching in response to the Ponder. And there's that mystery card again. What is that, man? It appears to be draw 4, or sorry, look at 4, draw 1. Am I a noob? I don't know, man. Is this a modern card, or is this a card that he was playing as a concession to playing Chalice main deck? Anyway, Sky has found a second land, and he is pondering with a blue-white open for next turn. If he keeps this, then I'd have to say that he's in a comfortable position here. He has thwarted everything that Jae Yong has tried to do, and has developed his mana accordingly. But Counterspell is down. He still has a force for this next turn. I have to feel like he needs to find Stoneforge Mystic, right? From that Wasteland go, I believe he drew Wasteland off the Ponder. I don't think that I would have let Jae Yong untap with the Ancient Tomb out. That is a Goblin Rabble Master. Sky is tapped out of his white, so he can't sword it. If it resolves, then one Goblin will connect. I don't think that the Rabble Master is going to connect at any rate. And he has kept hold of his Wasteland, so I think he believes that he really needs to keep developing his mana here. And he thinks that the Wasteland is more important to his own mana than it is to his opponent. So Sky is flicking furiously, and thanks to that I have seen a... What is that? Is that a Supreme Verdict? That kind of explains why he did not waste. He also has a Force and an Engineered Explosives. The Explosives is going to be really good here. And since he kept that Ponder, I don't think that was a land there, but his next card is unknown. He's working his way up towards 4 mana. And he will have access to a Verdict later in the game. Unless I didn't see that correctly. I've been talking about a card that isn't there. Are we looking for an Oracle text on a Pithing Needle? Seems interesting. Okay, so we heard Sky announce Deceiver Exarch there, and Jae Yong will flash in his threat here. A sideboard card for Stoneblade, Miracles, Death and Taxes, all sorts of stuff. I'm really curious if he has a verdict here. I see a snap and an explosive, so I must have been incorrect. Maybe I saw a flash of the engineered explosives. It kind of looked like Return to Ravnica version verdict. I apologize, it is not there. 1-2 snap, and the snap will target a sword. Calmly waiting to see if he can target something in his graveyard. The Snapcaster is going to eat a Force of Will, so if we can fight over this, I think that we have to. Okay. So both players down to extremely low hand counts. But the Snap resolves and he will target a sword. I believe that has to go after the Sulfur Elemental. And knowing Sky here, he's packing Monastery Mentors, so that Sulfur Elemental is extremely worrisome. Especially if he gets there in this game, he still has to worry about it for game 3. And the Snap dies before it can block, so there's still a clock on the table. Okay. Alright, well, the board appears clear. There's a Pithing Needle on a Deceiver Exarch, and there's a second Sulfur Elemental. Okay. So I don't think that Sky had another play besides bouncing the token, but he's going to lose his Jace here, and now has a very good threat on the board against him. We can go, let's see, we can find Mountain Engineered Explosives for the Sulfur Elemental. Or we can get Blood Moon out of the game. Yeah, Sky is dead here. So he was very close. Game 1, with maybe a little more careful fetching, he had a chance to take it. Game 2 was very hard fought, but ripping 2 Sulfuric Elementals, or whatever's, against the Stoneblade deck is going to be lights out, especially when they were down to very low resources. There was nothing left for Sky to fight with. So Sky's going to extend the hand here. I don't think that there's an out. So Twin is going to advance. And again, our top 8, we didn't have a specific group of players to watch. We just sort of picked matchups. So I think upcoming we have Food Chain, Lands, and Loam.